What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another edition of Coding with Robbie. I'm your very special host, Robbie, and in this video I'm going to be covering organizing a Go web app. So in the comments section, a few of you guys have said, hey, Robbie, I'm coming from whatever framework. I don't know how to stay organized. I don't know how to do MVC and Go. I don't know how to break stuff up. Help. And yeah, in this video I'm going to show you how I break my stuff up and how I stay organized. And let's just preface this by saying I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy making a video. I haven't been doing Go for 10 years. I don't work for a big company using Go. So I started out developing web apps probably back in 2013 or 14, and I started with Ruby on Rails, which was a popular framework back then. It's kind of dying now. But they basically give you a bunch of folders right out the gate and tell you how they want stuff organized. So they give you a models folder, a views folder, a controllers folder. You get a config folder, initializers, helpers, tests, and there's a few other ones I can't remember, but those are the main ones. And yeah, I've pretty much tried to emulate that in every framework going forward because I think that's the best system for staying organized. And Go's no different. I break everything up just like they do. So I'm going to build a quick little new project right now, and we're going to follow that system. And yeah, hopefully this helps you guys. So make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. And yeah, let's go. Alright, so I got my terminal pulled up right here, and I'm in my Go workspace folder. And yeah, I'm going to make a new folder for this project. I'll just call it MVC. And then I'll cd into that folder and run go mod in it. And this is just going to create a Go mod file, which allows us to install external packages and kind of just manages our dependencies for us. So we created that. We're also going to need a main.go file. And then we're going to create some folders. So we're going to create a views folder for all our templates. We'll do models for all our models. We'll do controllers for all our controllers. And then we're going to do initializers. This is kind of just where I set up stuff like connecting to the database, or if something needs to be initialized, I'll do it in there. And then we'll do helpers. And let's also do a public folder for static assets. And I think those are good for right now, so let's create those and then open up our project in VS Code. Here we go. We got all our folders created and we got our main file right here. So let's go in the main file and we'll go package main, and then we'll go func main. And inside func main, let's just go fmt.println and we'll do hello. So let's go back to terminal and run this. So if you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can do go run main.go and you'll get hello. I use a package called compile daemon. Let me see if I can find that. Right here, this is just a package that watches files for changes and will rebuild it whenever there's a change. So you can install this if you want. I recommend it. But yeah, to use it, you just go compile daemon. And then you do -- command and put what you want it to run after it builds. So mine will be ./nvc. So that's going to build it and then restart it and run it right there. And now if I make a change, it'll automatically rebuild it and do it. There we go. I had to press Command C. But yeah, it's kind of similar to NodeMan if you're coming from, or NodeMon if you're coming from Node.js. But yeah, for this video, I'm just going to be using Gorm and Fiber, which is my framework of choice right now. So let's get started with Gorm. Let's install the packages. So let's go back to terminal. I'm just going to stop whatever's running, and I'll, I think, copy. Let me copy it again. Come on. There we go. We'll grab Gorm. We need a database driver, so let's grab the beginning part right here. I'm going to be using Postgres. And there we go, we got Gorm installed. So yeah, like I said, I'll put like initializers and setup stuff within this initializers folder. I spelled that wrong. Let's add an S. And then let's go in here and let's just create a file called db.go. And this will hold our database connection stuff. And then within here, so we're going to go package, and I give it the name of whatever folders it's in. So whatever folder it's in. So let's go package initializers. I can't speak right now. And then in here, let's make a function called connect to database. And it's very important that you start it with a capital letter because this allows it to be exported and used in other packages. So we got our connected database function right here, and let's connect to the database. So let's see, quick start. Let's see, connecting to a database is right here. I'm doing Postgres. Here's the command right here. Whoops. So let's go back here, paste in that code, and let's fill in the details. So I'm on localhost. My user is Robbie. My password is Robbie. Database name, we'll call it MVC. Our port is going to be 5432. And then I don't really care about this stuff at the end, so I'm going to delete it. And yeah, you probably don't want your database details in this file, so let's use environment variables. And for that, I use another package called go.env. And this just allows you to put environment variables in a .env file in the root of your project. And just it's convenient, it makes it easy. So let's install this package, copy the command, go back to terminal, paste it in. There we go, we got it. So to use that, we just create a .env file. And we can put environment variables in here. So let's go port is equal to 3000. And let's just go db URL is equal to, and then I'll paste in all of this. So let's copy that. Paste it in, and let's run our project again. Right down here, there we go. And then to load those environment variables, you have to copy this right here. So this is another kind of setup thing, so I'll also do that in initializers. So let's make a new file called envvars.go. Oops, I had caps lock on. envvars.go. And then in here, let's make a function called load env variables. And then we have to add the package. This is also package initializers. And yeah, let's paste in that code right there. So we got the package imported, and this just goes, hey, let's load those files, and if there's an error, let's log it. So that looks good. Let's go back to our DB file here now, and to get that environment variable, it's just os.getEnv, and then you give it a name. We want DB URL. There we go, and then we're connecting right here, and it's assigning it to these two variables. But I'm going to make some new variables. So let's go var, caps lock is killing me, var error is equal to type error. And then let's create our DB variable out here so it can be globally accessible. Let's go var DB and start it with a capital letter. And that's going to be type *gorm.db. There we go. And let's change this to just an equal sign. And this has to be capitalized. So now it's going, hey, store the database instance up here and put the error right there if there is one. So let's check for that error. So if error is not equal to nil, let's go fmt.println failed to connect to database. That looks good. So now we're going to run this function, well actually both of these functions within our main file. So I put that within the init function. If you're not familiar with this function, it basically runs before main. So it goes init, and then after it's going to run main. So in here is a perfect place to run connect to database. And to access that, you put the package name and then a dot and then whatever the method is called, or the function is called. So initializers.connectToDB, so let's do that. Initializers.connectToDatabase. And we have to load the environment variables first. So let's go initializers. Load environment variables, and there we go. That should be connecting. Let's see if it works. And we get failed to connect, and that's because I don't have Postgres started and I don't have a database created. So let's do that real quick. Let's go, what is it? Sudo service start Postgres QL maybe. I forget how I set it up on here. No, sudo service PostgreSQL start. Maybe that's it. There we go. Started Postgres. And let's create a database. And I called mine MVC, so let's make that. We're good to go. Let's start our app again, and it should connect. And there we go. We don't see that failed to connect message, so we're good to go. Alright, so we got our DB set up, our environment variables loaded. We're making use of this initializers folder. So now let's get started with the actual web framework stuff. So I'm using Fiverr, and let's grab the package right here. Go back to terminal, stop it, paste it in to download it. And then let's start up our app again. Let's just go to their getting started hello world guide right here. And let's paste this all in to our main file right here. And yeah, I'll just keep kind of global app stuff in this file. So let's go setup app. And then we got our routes. And then we got start app. And let's use our environment variable here. So let's delete this. And do plus os.getEnv. And ours was port. There we go. And yeah, let's break this up some more. So we're doing model view controller. So let's create a controller file, and I'll just call this post controller. Let's say we're making a blog. And in here, I'll go package controllers, and then I'll go func post index, just like that. And let's see, we have to receive and return an error. So we receive the Fiverr context and we return the error. Save that, and then I have to put /v2 here. I don't know why mine does that, but there we go. So now we're keeping our controller functions in a separate folder and file. So let's import it. So let's delete all this. Actually, let's copy this guy right here, throw it in here, and then go back and we can delete this function. And instead we're going to go controllers dot post index. So now we got it connected. So let's make a model now. So let's go in here and we'll just go post model .go. And I like to put like controller or model in the file name just so I can see it in these tabs, because it's very possible I could have just post in the controller, post in the model, post here. It just makes it more clear for me. But anyway, in here let's go package models, and then let's go to the GORM documentation and see how to make a model. So let's go declaring models. Scroll down a little bit. They give a good example right here. So let's copy this. We'll paste it in. And ours is called a post. Make sure that's capitalized. And then this gives it an ID, created at, updated at, and deleted at. And then we can add our fields down here. So let's just go a post has a title type string, and a post has a body type string. That's good enough for me. And now let's add this to the database. So I'm going to go back to my DB file right here, and I'm going to create another function called syncdb. And in here is where we're going to migrate the database. So if you go back to their getting started guide, they show it right here. Where is it? Auto migrate. So let's throw that in here, and we got to get our database, which is capital DB, and then we want to auto migrate, and it's going to be and models.post with some brackets after, and that should create the table in our database. So let's run this now when the app starts. So let's go back to main, and this should have /v2. I don't know why it does that. Let's after we connect, let's sync the database. So initializers dot sync database, and there we go. That should create it. Let's see if we get any errors. I don't see anything. Maybe we can check and verify that it's there. Let me see if I have table plus on here. I do. And I'll worry about that later. Let's create a new connection, and let's go let's go Postgres, and let's see, the host is localhost, user is Robbie, password is Robbie, database is MVC. Let's test that. Connection is okay. Let's connect. And there we go. We got our post table with our columns and everything. So that looks good. So now let's set up our views in our public folder. So let's go back to the Fiverr documentation page. Let's go to app, and I'll just go to static right here. And it looks like you just add this line right here. So let's go back. I'm just going to paste that in a new section called configure app. Paste that right here. This is going to serve the public folder under /. So in our public folder, let's create a new folder. We'll just call it assets. And in assets is where I'll usually put my images or my CSS files, stuff like that. So let's create a new file called style.css. And in here, I'll just reset everything. So let's go margin 0, padding 0, box sizing border border box. And I'll just leave it like that for now. And yeah, let's hook this up to some views. So let's see how we do that. Let's go to templating. And they got an example down here. We got to install this package right here. So let's grab that. Stop this. And let's go get, paste it in. And then I'll grab the HTML templating package. And then, yeah, we got to load our views with this line. So I'll just throw this in main also. I'll put it at the top. Load templates. And then we got connected to our app with this config stuff right here. So let's copy this and throw it within our app stuff right here. There we go. So now we got our views hooked up. It's going to load all HTML files within the views folder. I like to change this to .tmpl. That's just my preference, but you can put whatever you want. So yeah, in here I'll now have subfolders for each controller. So we have posts, so I'm going to create a new folder called posts. And in here maybe we have index.tmpl to match the controller method right there. And yeah, in here let's just go posts index. And we actually have to do all the HTML stuff. So let's actually delete that, go like that, and in here is where we can go post index. And then we don't want to be putting all this stuff in every single file, so I'll usually create some partials. So let's create a new subfolder within views called, let's just call it partials. And in here I'll usually have a top.tmpl and a bottom.tmpl. And then top is all of this, and bottom is this. And now we got to use those within this template right here. So I forget how to do that. Let's see if we can look that up real quick. Alright, I'm back. I found the documentation for the HTML engine right here. And yeah, here's how you load a partial. So let's copy this line. And let's throw it up here. We want partial slash top and partial slash bottom. And then let's go back to top and let's just throw in our CSS file. And if it resets everything, we know it's loaded correctly. So let's go link rel is equal to style sheet. href is, and it's going to be slash assets slash style.css. There we go. We should have our app running on port 3000. Let's verify that. Nope, I got to start it again. And let's try to open this up. So we're on port 3000. Let's go to Chrome. Go in here. Let's go localhost 3. Caps lock 3000. There we go. We get our hello world, but that's not working because if we go to our controller function, we're actually just sending a string. So to render, you do, let's see, where is it? Let's go back to Fiber. Where was I? Templating, and you do return c.render, and then you put the view you want to render. So in our case, it's posts slash index, and then you can pass data like that. We don't really need anything, so I'll delete it. Let's go back and see if we're getting our templates now. So go back here, we get that, and it doesn't look like our CSS is working. Let's see. Well, let's just inspect an element. And yeah, it actually is. We got our 0, 0 right here. So that's good. So let's see. We got a controller set up. We got initializers. We got models. We got our public stuff right here. We got our views right here. So yeah, that's basically how I'll organize the majority of everything. If I need like a random function that does something, I'll just throw it in helpers right here. And yeah, some things to note. In my controllers, I always put whatever controller it is right here, because say you have another controller, say I have I don't know, authors controller, and you gotta spell authors right. Say I had an authors controller, and this is also package controllers. I can't reuse func, say index, because it already exists in this file. So my way around that is I'll just preface it with whatever model it is, or whatever the controller name is right here, like that. And let's see what else. Another folder I completely forgot about is I'll usually create a middleware folder. And this will just house all the app middleware. So maybe in here I have like require auth.go. And then in here I just give it package middleware. And then maybe we have func, and you gotta do capital letters, require auth. And I forget how to do middleware in Fiber. Let's check it out. Let's go middleware, custom middleware. Okay, here's a middleware function right here. So you just copy the function part, and we'll throw it in here. And then I'm gonna name my middleware. So mine's called require auth. And there we go. We got this middleware that's gonna add some headers and stuff. So now I can import that in my main folder and use it there. So we can go back here, and I'll put that in configure. I can go app.use, and then I want to use my middleware dot require auth. And yeah, that's how I organize my apps, and I can even break stuff up further if things get messy. So what might end up happening is I might end up with, you know, like 100 different routes, and it kind of clutters this file. And what I can do in that case is say make a routes file. So let's go routes.go. And then this is also going to be package main. And in here, let's make a function called routes. And routes is going to receive the app. So let's see what type that is. It's *fiber.app. You know, app is *fiber.app. And then in here, we can add all our routing so it's not in this file. So let's copy this, bring it over here. That looks good. Let's add /v2. And then in here, we can just run routes with a capital R. And that should function identically, but we gotta pass it to app. Let's see, don't see any errors, everything's good. We go back here, and now we have a separate file for all our routes. And you could even do files for each like path, or break it up however you want. And yeah, I think that's a good system for organizing your apps. How do I get back? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have a request for another video, put it in the comments section. If it's something I feel like I can help on, I'll be sure to make it. If not, I probably don't have expertise on the subject. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.